project. With us this afternoon, we have the Speaker of the 11th YAP State Legislature, Viral Aron, Floor Leader, Vice Speaker, Chairman of the Rail Committee, John Maffel. We also have the two Director of the Department of Education, Dominic Fnaso, and Director Theo Thinfeld from the Health Service. We have the students from the three schools, which is Faith Christian Academy and their teacher, Yap High School student, and COM Yap campus student and faculty. Thank you all for availing your time to be here. Today presentation is basically focusing on two subject matter, which is the topic of education sector of the government, as well as the health sector. The College of Micronesia student will present the education component of the program, and Yap High School and Faith Christian Academy will present the healthcare component of our program for this afternoon. I'm going to change the agenda for the presentation. I'd like to do a bottom-up approach. And we will start from FCA and Yap High School. Then we'll go into break, 10 to 15 minutes break. And then when we come back, COM will present their education topic presentation. There is a oral presentation rubric that has been passed around. This is not going to determine the winner or loser of the presentation, but it will show us your strength and areas that needs improvement. That's the purpose of the rubric that the core committee have. With that, I'd like to turn the floor over to the director if he have anything to add. If not, then we'll proceed on to the first presentation, which is FCA School on Healthcare subject. Director, you have anything? Go ahead. You don't? Just to let you know that this is live. We're live right now. We're on the radio and live streaming. So put on your big smile. Thank you. FCA, are you ready? The podium is yours. Please hold on to your question until the end of the presentation. Then we can do critics, and if anybody have any question, we will give the opportunity to ask a question and comments. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are students from Faith Christian Academy, and my name is Serenity. Our presentation is about healthcare. All information that we have is based on data we've collected. I will now give it to my partner to start us off.
The subject of health is a broad topic that covers multiple categories. In order to truly improve the subject of health is a broad topic that covers multiple categories. In order to truly improve the healthcare system here in Yap, we as people need to rebuild the entire system from the ground up, meaning going back to the foundation and seeing what's keeping us from moving forward or being better than where we are right now. Only through a combined effort from every department can we experience change. Now we will be diving into the information that we've gathered so far. Majority of the healthcare system is still in its infancy. Almost all of the record keeping that takes place in YAP is done so by pen and paper. This archaic way of record keeping makes things much harder to keep track of, but by upgrading to digital, it makes data easily accessible for both patients and medical personnel. Changing the record keeping system will also help in the exchange of information in cases of pandemics, making it easier to gather and exchange information across the world. A lot of our hospital equipment is outdated or obsolete. YAP is several generations behind in technological equipment. As a result of this, there is very few things that doctors on the islands can treat, leading to referral of patients off island. Now, my partner is going to continue.
While there are some training programs, the hospital still needs more. Every department lacks experienced and skilled personnel, resulting in an excess of underqualified and under-equipped personnel attending to patients and operating medical equipment and machinery. Apart from having little to no experienced personnel to man and operate various medical machines, YAP also has a shortage of experienced and trained nurses, putting strain on already overworked staff, leading to a severely understaffed hospital. Without properly trained nurses, the hospital is unable to provide better quality medical service for their patients. Having more training programs could help teach staff new skills and gain more experience in their field, which can result in better care for patients and a safer environment for everyone. It's like how athletes train to get better at their sport, the hospital staff needs to train to get better at their field too. Now, imagine the hospital as a complex machine and the doctors, nurses, and equipment being the many different parts. Those parts need to work together and function to keep people healthy. Now, imagine that some of these parts are missing or not working well. That's what's happening here in YAP. They don't have enough experienced nurses and doctors to operate medical machines, which leads to a few problems such as overworked staff, an understaffed hospital, and lack of experience. Just, YAP has a very rich culture, and while that can be a good thing in some aspects, it has proven to be an obstacle in equal health care for patients regardless of caste or status. Culture creates too many hoops to jump through. Every aspect of decision making needs to be cleared through numerous entities before anything can be greenlit. Um, I would like to give this opportunity to my teammate Lei to expand.
Just as the saying goes, there is no I in team. The only way any real change is going to happen is if every department works hand in hand together. Teamwork is essential for success. It's about working together, supporting each other, and sharing the workload. When everyone works hand in hand, they can achieve things that would be impossible alone. Imagine a team trying to build a house. If everyone works alone trying to do their own thing, the house will never be built for standard. But if everyone works together, sharing tools, ideas, and effort, they can build architectural marvels. Healthcare is a universal need and shouldn't be dependent on caste, rank, or any other arbitrary reasons. It is something everyone needs to take into consideration. If it is only available to certain people because of their social status, it creates problems. If only certain people can get good medical care, others might suffer and not get the help that they need. If everyone has the same chance to get health care, it helps everyone. A society where everyone can see a doctor or get treatment when they're sick is better for everyone, as it keeps disease from spreading and ensures that people can live their best life. Healthcare should be fair and available to all, no matter who they are. Every government entity needs to work together to train their personnel to better handle emergencies or healthcare issues. Every part of the government, the hospitals, police, and fire department needs to team up and train their workers on how to deal with emergencies or health problems. When there's an emergency like a natural disaster or a health crisis, it's important that everyone knows what to do and how to help. If each group works alone without talking to each other, things can get messy, and people might not get the help that they need quickly. By working together and training their staff, they can make sure that everyone is prepared and knows how to respond both effectively and efficiently. This teamwork helps keep everyone safe and healthy during tough times. Because Yap is a remote island in the middle of the Pacific, it is increasingly expensive to bring resources to the island. As a result of this, there are many pharmaceutical drugs that the hospital is unable to provide patients in need. Imagine trying to bring groceries to a place that's far away. It can take a very long time and cost a lot of money. Because of this distance and expenses, the hospitals on Yap can always get all the medicine that patients need. For example, if someone is sick and needs a specific drug, the hospital might not have it available. This can be really tough for the people living there because they might not get the treatment that they need quickly or in time. After experiencing COVID 19, Yap has had a rude awakening, realizing that we were not prepared to handle a pandemic of that scale. I'm going to pass this to my teammate Serenity to expand on this topic.
Even with all the work that went into preparing YAP for the eventual arrival of COVID 19, we were still unable to accommodate the rapid influx of patients. The pandemic showed that YAP doesn't have enough resources, plan, or support in place to handle something serious. This experience had made them aware that we need to prepare better for any future emergency so they can keep everyone safe and healthy. YAP needs to have annual training in place to educate and reduce reaction time for emergencies. A lot of the policies in place at the moment are policies that were set in place several decades ago. In order to in order for the healthcare system to improve, amendments must be made to better suit the needs of patients today. Policies of the past benefited the time because it was written for them. They need to update to better suit the needs of today. Because we cannot let the limitations of past policies influence future possibilities. To better the healthcare here in Yap, the government and the hospital need to work together to create scholarships or contracts to support young adults aspiring to be doctors or healthcare workers. This encourages them to return home to help their people. Reality is that no one wants to accomplish their education of 48 years and work at a place where they would be earning less than what they would be earning out there. Promising an increased pay rate more than is currently being given to foreigners, we almost would almost guarantee their return home. Sorry, I feel like I already read that. Should In conclusion, healthcare is everyone's responsibility, and I believe that if we work together, sharing tools and ideas like a team, we can achieve greater things. So, on behalf of my team, I'd like to thank you all for your time. Right.
Thank you, FCA school. Any question or comments? All right. So thank you, FCA. Yap High School, you're up. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Um, we are the representative of Yap High School. My name is Risa. and these are my teammates. Our topic is healthcare, and we'll be talking about OPD specifically. These are the things that we're gonna be talking about today. Um, OPD overview and OPD outline, OPD issues and suggestions.
Now that we know what we're going to talk about today, this is the first thing. What is OPD? OPD is outpatient department. It is part of a hospital or clinic that treats patients without requiring hospitalization. What does OPD offer? OPD offers routine checkups, diagnostic tests, specialist consultations, and minor surgical procedures. Routine checkups basically means patients get regular checkups. Diagnostic tests, where patients get tests like x-rays, blood tests. For specialist consultations, where patients can consult or talk with doctors at the OPD. And minor surgical procedures, where patients can get minor small procedures. For example, if you get a cut, you can go to the OPD and they treat your injury.
Okay, now that we know what OPD stands for, we're going to be going over the OPD outline. So, under the outline, as you can see, there are two facilities, the primary facility and the support facility. Under the primary facility is the on duty clinic, medicine clinic, surgery clinic, preventive medicine clinic, dental clinic, and so on. So basically, these clinics focus on providing immediate and medical care to patients, including diagnosis, treatment, and monitoring of illnesses, injuries, and surgical procedures. Next up is support facilities, and under that is the triage or triage process, and registration, screening, cashier, laboratory, radiology, and the pharmacy. These other facilities provide essential services that are not directly medical treatment but are crucial for the smooth operation of the hospital and the well-being of patients. Both these facilities fall under the outpatient satisfaction. So, what is outpatient satisfaction? Outpatient satisfaction is basically a patient's level of satisfaction with the healthcare and service they received during their outpatient visit.
Now that we've gone over what is OPD and the outline, I would go ahead and tell you about the issues and the problems in the YAP OPD. Uh, these are some issues, which is the opening hours, registration and waiting hours, appointments, lack of doctors, lack of technologies, special treatment, outdated policies, overcrowding, packed, and improper treatments.
When I was doing my research on the OPT, I thought OPT stands for overpriced department. But let's first talk about the opening hour. As we all know, that the opening hour of OPT is 7 to 7. 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the evening. Beyond that, patients are advised to go home and come back the next day
Only if it's critical will they see a doctor. And let me just remind you all that being sick is not something that we control. It's part of nature. Next up, I would like to turn your attention onto the lack of doctors. Here in YAP, we don't have enough doctors, specialists, uh, and this is one of the reasons why we are only open 7 to 7. Because there are not enough workers, nurses, and doctors to see patients. Sometimes we have to come and sit for a few hours and wait to see a doctor. It is also why we have to send patients off island because we don't have enough doctors here on the island. And my third would be the outdated policies, as my FCA students have mentioned before, the outdated policies. So the hospital has been holding on to old policies, and this was proven this week. We've made a lot of requests on their policies, and they responded with we need to update our policies. So yes, some of the ways we can solve these things is for the opening hours, we can probably try to open 24/7. And for the lack of doctors, we can increase their payments if that's what they're going for. And for the outdated policies, maybe it's better we focus not on the past, but focus on the present and future. Thank you.
So these are some of the websites we've been taking out our informations, and that's it. Thank you, guys.
I think we can move down to now to questions and comments because this is the last component of the health sector. And when we come back after 5 minutes break, we're going to go into the education sector. So, is there any questions for the student, the YCHS, YHS, and FCA? Go ahead, Director Theo.
I had hoped that somebody would have raised their hands to be the first to ask some questions. But I want to thank the our students here, the fine gentlemen and ladies that they have presented their report. Though I'm a little saddened by the fact that we did get a very bad grade from you guys. Perhaps maybe the source of your information or who you had talked with. You know, our hospital here in Yap is the best in the FSM. It is the best. Our laboratory is equal to the laboratory in Palau. And our medical record system is all computerized. The doctors get to see the result of lab test electronically, and they can pull the medical records electronically and review the patient's records and all of the other functions that comes after, like the billing and all the record or prescription sent to the pharmacy is all electronic. And right now, we have 5 IT working for the hospital, and the system is linked to the WAB WAB community healthcare system, and we hope to also put in place um, agreement so that we can link with other private clinics that do the same work as the hospital do, so that we can share all the information on the patients here in the community in YAP. So that's but in regards to the training, I fully agree. We do need a lot of training at the hospital, and we're also fortunate that we've been receiving funds to be conducting the training in house for the nurses. Uh, our doctors. The reason why we have to send people out for referral is because most of the doctors we can afford are the general practitioners, which means they don't have any specialty. And so when patient comes in that it requires a specialized doctor to attend to and diagnose the ailment, we don't have that expertise. And so one other problem too is people here in YAP tend to hold back from coming to the hospital. And then when they get very, very sick, that's when they come. And at those stages, it's almost terminal. And we have to send them off island for treatment. So this is something, if you could help with, to, share this in the community. We need to care for our health. Our health is our wealth. And we can't do any of this work if we're not healthy. And one other thing I just like to point out also, the major problem that the hospital is facing right now, while we do have the other ones for training and specialized doctors, it's called non-communicable disease. And this is the disease of lifestyle, which the hospital is spending millions and millions in trying to treat the outcome of the disease. And if we could only be uh, conscious of the things that we need to do, we don't have to go to the hospital to stop this kind of disease. It's up to us, you know. And right now, it's obvious that the root problem of non-communicable disease is physical fitness. In the late 60s and early 70s, there were no mention of non-communicable disease. It is something that just has arrived at our doorstep today. And it weighs heavily on the shoulders of the young generations as to the choices that we make in our life. So I think I've said too much, and I'll shut up. And if anybody else has any questions or comments, but thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Director CEO. LC, you have comments and questions?
Thank you, Chairman. Just one question to each of the schools, because both schools touched on outdated policy. Is there a specific policy that you see specifically that can be improved and how or updated?
Thank you for the question. Like I mentioned earlier, it was proven we were making a request last week for the policies of the hospital, and their response was that they need to update the policies. So, in order to get the policies, they have to in order for us to get the policies, they have to update it first, and then they'll send it over. Thank you.
FCA, you want to make a comment on the question made by the legal counsel in regards to policy? No comments? Any more question? Chair, go.
Yes.
Thank you, Vice Speaker. That is basically the question posed by our legal counsel. Uh, Before we go on break, I just want to share with you that the 2023 YAPU survey has been published. 38% of youth in YAP are overweight. 40% of youth in YAP smoke cigarette. 29% consume alcohol. But in regards to obese, uh, this survey was conducted in 2023, including the neighboring island. The island of Fish is leading obesity. 47% of youth in Fish has been categorized as obese. And the hospital people are trying to figure out how and why. Uh, this is quite alarming because back in last year, Yap State Hospital Medical Referral Program sent out 47 patients to the Philippines, Hawaii, and the government spent $1.1 million just last year alone. That's a lot of money. This money can be used for equipment purchase and other necessary assets that our medical healthcare system needs. So I just want to share that for information for the youth to think about. The the survey is available. Um, you can seek information from the health care system, and they can provide you the website that you can access this information, which I think is very useful for everyone because it seems like we have an unhealthy society. So with that, let's go ahead, Chairman Mafal.
Chairman. This is just just not questions for the two teams, but more of comments on the presentation, not the subject matter, but the presentation. Uh, Having taught 17 years and also was part of some of the debates, even taking our team to Costa for one of the debates. Um, in looking over, since there is no, which this is not a debate and there's no winners or losers, these are just hopefully constructive feedback so that you can use it in your own future endeavors and things at the school level. Um, of the two teams, um, towards the end, the stuff from the Yap High School team kind of went in line with some of the concerns from the FCA team. Um, but when we first started and we talked about paper record keeping, I was wondering what the research was, if there was actual research. So, and then outdated equipment, and then we were going to the referrals, and even you guys made a reference to referrals because there's not enough doctors, which these things show maybe there wasn't enough research being done before you come into a public forum to present your information. So please make sure you do that research first, and if necessary, if this sounds too, what do you call this, too e- uh, exciting or explosive, verify it with another source to see that it is credible. before presenting out in a public forum, because some of these things, some of them even what do you call contradict when you're talking about the, there are too many decision making. Too many heads for a decision to be made, and then later on you want to talk about collaboration. We need to work together to get things done. That contradicts itself. You talk about how we need to speed up the process in decision making, but then later we need more heads to be able to make that decision. So, in forming your argument or the things that you're presenting, make sure that there's no contradictions inherent in what you're putting together, and also that the things you're touching on are not very general, but there are specific instances that you can point to, so that when something like what our LC, if she was a judge on a debate panel, would ask, you do have something specific to offer for why you see you pointed that out. So just trying to be constructive here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Chairman Mafal. You have the floor, Director CEO.
Yeah, when I got the memo from the chairman, Mamo, I thought this was a very good project. And so I had this on my desk at the hospital, and I was waiting for somebody to come and start asking questions. Nobody came. In fact, then maybe 3 4 days ago, the quality assurance chief he asked me, somebody's asking me online to provide some information on policies. And after discussion about the name of and we came to the conclusion that it was probably one of you guys trying to gain some information. And but the QA chief had already said, no, we're updating the policies. That's just to cut you off, because we don't know who was that asking for the hospital policies. So you could have approached in a much better way. Come over, and as I'm telling you, I was waiting to see some of you coming over to ask questions. But I know you're busy, and yeah, and we can always do. I'm sure you guys are gonna do better next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Director CEO, for the comment. And I believe the students have taken that as a lesson learned. We will now move to take 5 minutes break. We have refreshment in the lobby. Please grab something, and then we will come back after 5 minutes and continue with the last component of the program for this afternoon. Thank you all. How is imported goods. We have 2 more minutes. If I can ask everybody to come back into the chamber so we can continue on with our program. We don't want any student to miss the 5 o'clock bus. You can bring your sandwich water into the chamber.
¿Cómo mamrule irupin? Kasi ko ne, andis ko admit ko. A fresh fry? Ah. Bako di wow.
Baron sa na rent. Ay, it seems like everybody have grabbed something to eat. So let's continue on with the program, the last portion of the presentation for this afternoon. Uh, this topic will be on education, and the College of Micronesia YAP campus will present uh, the education subject or topic. Thank you, COM.
Good afternoon, everyone. Senators, directors, and other leaders, good afternoon. We're the representatives of College of Micronesia-FSM, YAP campus. My name is Xavier Gilsuit. I live in Laikin Phi. My major in college is business administration. Now let my other teammates introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jackson Rapocheme, and I'm from MAP, and I'm majoring in liberal art.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Daniela Fernandez Cuporang. I'm a second year student in COM, majoring in liberal art, and I'm from Gitgay Timid.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michaela Lamo. I'm from CNIF del Peb now, and I'm majoring in hospitality and tourism management.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Annabella Mathao. This is my first year in college in Micronesia, and I'm from Gagil, and I'm majoring in liberal arts.
Good afternoon. My name is Khaled Egyad, and I'm a first-year student at COM YAP campus, and I'm from Talangith MOP, and I'm majoring in marine science.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jamie Fidal. I am from Laikin Phi. I'm a third year attending at COM FSM YAP campus, majoring in education.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stacy Zoria Psingutma, and I am from Okawele. I am a student at COM. This is my first year, and I'm majoring in Micronesian Studies.
Good afternoon. My name is Ezekiel Sogilshawit. I'm from Laikin Phi. I'm a second year at the YAP campus. I'm majoring in liberal arts.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Javen. I'm from Tugil Wanyan. My first time in COM, and I'm majoring in electronic engineering technology.
Our topic for today is teachers and students' performances. This is an overview of everything we've come up with so far. The teachers, their issues and recommendations, lack of qualified teachers in the classroom, disproportionate income for all teachers, and as for the students, their issues and recommendations, amending laws for age, summer school, bridging the gap and beyond the basics, and finally, improvement of infrastructure and resources. Now I'll give it to my teammate Javen to explain the next slide. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. The topic I'll be presenting to you is the teacher side in the education system. Based on my experience and my teammates' experience, found we see some issues in the system. First is the lack of certified teachers and disproportionate income for all teachers. And our recommendations and based on our research for certified teachers, we believe that employing qualified teachers is best to it will enhance professionalism and development for training and for teachers. Based off what we already know, the collaborations between COM and DOE for teacher prep for students attending COM for internship. We believe if we extend the internship for teachers prep, it would better for their future teachings for students and their education. And for the next issue, addressing the next issue, the disproportionate income, we believe that income for qualification and performances should be based on teachers for fair pay. Breaking down the teacher certification in YAP State, based on our research in sorry, based on our research in the FSM National Government Office of Planning, only 8.7 teachers are certified and qualified in the YAP State, and 66.2% are qualified but not certified, meaning they got the degree but they didn't pass the certification teacher competency exam. And for 0.3% are not qualified and not certified at all. And the 16.1% others, as in agriculture teachers, they don't need to be certified, but they must at least know what they're teaching. Sorry. And for unknown, based on our research, only 14.3% of what we research is not found. And I'm sorry. And enforce by taking down these issues, we believe if we enforce the FSM Code Title 40, Section 105 teacher certification into the YAP state law, it would help the teachers out for better teaching and for students and their education. And as you can see, this is the breakdown of how it is on the pie chart. We believe if we believe if can enforce teachers that are not certified, we would have more qualified and certified teachers in the YAP state system. And the next slide will be about just breaking it down in number form. Okay, in addressing the second issue in the teachers side for fair pay across YAP state educators. This is based on our research on the FSM National Government Office of Budget and Planning. This is what the teachers should be getting paid exactly. Like, yes. And the teacher salary observe based on our interview with the private school Yap Catholic High School principal Miss Abigail, teachers' annual income are based on their experience and their qualification and the amount of classes they teach each year. And their annual salary is 9,000 to 10,000. And for the stipend for voluntary teachers are $200 bi-weekly. And our interview with St. Mary Elementary School principal, um, with the principal, he said his annual salary is $6,000. And for public and elementary schools, this is the annual salary that we got from DOE. I'm guess 5,000 to 8,000. Thank you. And yes, as we proceed, I would like my teammate to continue.
Greetings once again, everyone. Now on to the students aspect of the education system. The first issue we'd like to highlight is the high dropout rates and the high school graduation rates. Reason for this trend may be due to the following reasons. According to the National Department of Education, estimation of 30% of the elementary graduates stop attending after the graduation due to social influences of disengaged students. Acknowledging the state and FSM code, YAB State Title 16, Chapter 2, Section 202A, and FSM Code Title 40, Chapter 1, Section 104, students are not mandated to attend high school level. To mitigate this trend, we can consider amending the YAP State Code and FSM Code that states that students should attend school from 6 to 14 and amended to 6 to 18 years old. In addition to this, we can implement summer school for those transitioning between the 8th and 9th grade level and make it optional for those in high school level to assist in addressing this issue. The second issue we'd like to address is the obsolete resources and neglected facilities. By improving the infrastructure and updating the resources in classrooms, such as textbooks, computers, or other facilities, it can create a conducive learning environment for the students. As stated, this is a representation of the dropout rates in the YAP state, starting from grade kindergarten to grade 12. This statistics were pulled from the National Department of Education system during the semester of 2019-2020, so basically 4 to 5 years ago. This graph is based on the gender and grade level. As stated in the YAP State Title 16, Chapter 2, Section 202, and FSM Code Title 40, Chapter 1, Section 104, attendance at public or non-public schools shall be required of all children between the ages 6 and 14, inclusive or until graduation from elementary school. By amending these respective laws and changing the age level, we can cultivate our students into college-ready individuals and career-ready individuals and broaden their essential life skills. In other words, students will be able to build a strong foundation of their learning skills and life skills By harnessing these skills, such as communication, problem solving, and more, we can battle the low dropout rates and low high school graduation rates, which recent studies from the National Assessment of Education Progress, or NAEP, sorry if I say that too fast, NAEP, indicates that 70 to 80% of students who complete high school demonstrate significantly better proficiency in these areas compared to the dropout. Furthermore, by increasing the age to 18 years old, students are more likely to acquire a higher education via college, university, or trade school. Additionally, to a higher education and gaining experience through college, trade school, it enhances financial opportunities, and higher educational attainment is linked to increased earning potential and economic stability. By reducing the dropout rate, it can also decrease the unemployment rate and reliance on social programs. Overall, schools provide a structured environment for social and personal development. Students can learn teamwork, responsibility, and citizenship. While there are challenges to implementing to such a mandate or amending a mandate, the benefits for the individuals and society are significant. Thank you. Before we continue, allow me to introduce and welcome my teammate Stacy to the podium.
Summer school bridging the gap. I believe that one of the biggest issues that we have is for high schools is low graduation rate. However, I believe that if it's high school would implement summer school into their school system, we can prevent this problem. Summer school can also help students all year round reinforce their knowledge and skills. On this graph is mostly about YH's graduation rate from 2020 to 2025. The blue represents the freshman and the red represents the senior. For the year of 2020, you can see that the freshmen, when they started their enrollment, it was really high, but then when they got to their senior year, the enrollment dropped. Summer school beyond the basics. Upper, Summer school will give you benefits such as opportunities for enrichment and acceleration. It will also give students the ability to introduce to explore their interest and develop new talents. For instance, uh, the collaboration with STEM at Yap High School and the collaboration with MCC at Yap Catholic High School. For the STEM collaboration, I will be elaborating on that on the next slide. But then for the collaboration with MCC at YSHS, I will be elaborating on it on this slide. For those who don't know what MCC, it stands for Micronesian Conservation Coalition. During senior year for the seniors at Yap Catholic High School during their summer session, they are given the opportunity to work with MCC or MIC, Marine Island Ecology course, where they're given the ability to explore marine life. And in this course, they're given the ability to do lab works, field trips, and the most exciting part, snorkeling. For our second benefit, life skills. With life skills, students are able to grow as leaders, develop their communication skills, and networking. And with college preparation, they're able to improve on their critical thinking skills and problem solving, which will give them the ability to navigate college life easily. Okay, in these two pictures, you have the upper bound students at Yap High. On the first picture, they were tasked to go outside, gather plants, and then they would take the plants and put it underneath the microscope, and they would get to see cells. And then for the next picture, they are going to launch their rockets, and this is for their biology STEM class. Thank you. I would like to invite Ezekiel Gisuit to come and present first for his slide.
Thank you, Stacy. Let's move on to the improvement of infrastructure and resources. For building a foundation for learning, we can start by renovating our schools, by repairing and upgrading facilities or existing buildings, such as classrooms, libraries, labs, and of course, restrooms. We can also upgrade our infrastructure by improving access to clean water, by providing every classroom with water dispenser. And for electricity in schools, we can make sure that every school is equipped with a generator in case of power outage. As a case example, Yap High School. If Yap High School had a generator for power outage, there will be no excuses for classes to stop when there's no power. Classes will continue when the generator is there. To continue on to the next slide, by improving our infrastructure, we can also improve our resources. For equipping our students for success, we can start with our curriculum development by focusing on the learning materials, by providing updated textbook, digital resources, and library access. An example for digital resources would be a smart board. Instead of having all students use their phones in class, we can equip every class with a smart board for the students and teachers to utilize the digital resource. We can also integrate technology by equipping classrooms with computers, internet access, and educational softwares such as Canvas, Moodle, or MLA citation generator. This will help the students transition into colleges if there is online courses. To elaborate more on the uh, facilities and the resources, these are current photos we took from Yap High School. The photo over there is a facility. It's a neglected restroom. Uh, it's a restroom. It's the restroom for all Yap High School students, but it's at the moment it's not working. And these two are photos of the textbooks, the outdated textbooks. This picture over here, it's a picture of the science textbook, physical science book. This is the textbook for Micronesia studies, or history, or civics. I've I went down to Yap High School earlier today, and the copyright for the textbook for overseas and time for civics is from 2002 by McGraw-Hill Companies. And for the introduction to physical science, it was published by the FSM Department of Education, Pohnpei FSM, from 2010. Oh, my bad. My bad. I'm sorry. Yes. This is published by the FSM Development of Education. And the other one was published by McGraw-Hill Companies in 2002. These are our references. These are the sites we got all of our information to our presentation. To conclude this presentation, do you guys have any questions?
Go ahead.
Yes, during his presentation, the table was shown for the salary for public and private. Yes, sitting next to me is from private.
Can you bring that up, the slide, like for the?
Can you go to that slide?
There we go.
Yeah. Also, I just turn over here. Private school is very good. So that you're saying in Yapsi, but but I confirm what him said. But your next slide after that, what you presented for private is not really matching to the scale that was shown in the
Previous.
previous slide. I just want to point out that.
Yeah, that's nice over there.
Yes. Yes. Based on our interview with the school principals.
Let me assist my teammate. The first table, the one previous showing the thousands difference of this information that we share with you, we pulled it from the FSM Office of Budget and Planning and also YAP State Department of Education salary scale, and we concluded all the information and made a table out of it. But based on our interviews with the fellow schools and principals, they say otherwise. So we recommend for, how should I say it? I'm sorry. We recommend that all teachers are paid fairly based on their qualifications and performance and their certification and qualification. I sorry for the confusion.
Response to this slide, you talk about reinforcing knowledge and skills as well as curriculum development. My question is this: how can we reduce the illiteracy rate among high school graduates? We see a lot of graduates entering college and they're still unable to read and write sometimes. Is there anything we can do to help reduce the illiteracy rate?
To reduce the illiteration rate or what you are mentioning, we can practice in summer schools or implement summer schools so that the writing is focused on the students that are showing repetition in those habits. And we can target those students so that they can harness their own knowledge and their own skills and develop more understanding of the proper way of understanding so that they won't copy, paste, or plagiarize when they transition between the grade levels and also transition into college because we do have a plagiarism policy at COM FSM. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
What, Chairman? I saw we will talk about electricity and how about these other things? For a long time, Yap High School had a lunch program, but then the money ran out, so Yap High School does not have one. It hasn't had one since 1988, 89. And but Tamilang School has started a lunch program. Does that sound like something the classrooms? We're talking about conducive learning. We're talking about generators. How about air conditioning for all those classrooms? In a very hot environment, sometimes it's difficult to learn. In Director of Education, just things. Others, were there other things you were recommending, or just those?
We are recommending those because in recent cases where the Yap State experienced power outage, Yap High School was a case example where they kept missing school and it affected student performance. But as you mentioned, the lunch issue is also a good recommendation to bring up to the Yap State Department of Education so that students are capable of eating a nutritious breakfast or lunch so that they can stay focused in the classroom. And I can say based on my personal experience and my own uh, observations, students do tend to go hungry and they don't focus in the classroom because they're certainly looking outside waiting for lunch to happen. And yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah, we have a lot more recommendations, but lunch and generators and focusing on the facilities is what we're trying to focus on and bring to your attention.
Let me give the floor to Director CEO, and then I will turn it back to you, Director Tom.
Um, my question does not reflect anything that you have presented so far, but I'm curious what the dropouts in the high schools or in the schools in general. From your experience, what do you suppose or what do you think is the cause of the dropout in school? Uh, Beside the other reasons that you have stated, I know that there were a lot of incidences of student drinking at school, bad conduct. Uh, what do you have to say about those? Could those instances have been maybe the reasons why we have so many, I, or the conduct of students is what I'm trying to get at. Do you think does this play a big part in the dropout in the schools of the students in the schools?
So conduct regarding the student behavior, regarding like what you mentioned, the drinking policy and everything. I believe we can also, because to my understanding and my research in the App State Code, there is a fine that's in place, $25 a day for parents to make sure that their student attends school if they don't attend school. But there's no enforcement in that policy according to the App State Court. What we can recommend, or my experience is, we can do what we did in the States where we apply juvenile tension, where parents pay a fine when the student drink or fight in school. It ranges from $50 to $100 depending on the consumption of alcohol or the damages based on the school. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, Director of Education. Any comments?
Thank you. And the presentation is very good. I would say it's very good. It has a lot of room for growth. I just have a question on how you guys are dealing with data. We don't want to overload ourselves with data. When you are dealing with data in accordance with FSM, they talk national, which means it encompasses all four states. You can actually segregate those data and pull the one for you to talk more specifically. The other one on dropout, if you guys don't know, there is no more dropout or expulsion at the high school now because our system is not accommodating the dropouts we're giving. We're just putting back people into society without discipline. What we're supposed to be doing is if a student did something in school that is unlawful or a misbehavior, we need to come up with programs to be able to accommodate them. But now we are doing it year in, year out. I expel this student, next year they come back and enroll again. They've lost 1 year of education. Then they do the same thing. Then they get expelled. I need to stress out one part of that. You guys know why there is very or no expulsion in elementary school and the college?
Anybody know? No? It's because there are two different range of student characters. High school is the explorative stage where a student comes in and tries to explore things. So if we don't have the correct guidelines to build their character, their discipline, then we'll always expel them. So because we don't have the program, I stopped the expulsion rate and asked the high school to work on programs. If they are expelled for drinking alcohol, there's always the alcohol program at the hospital that they can go through for 2, 3 weeks, then come back to instruction. That way they learn, but they don't lose instruction and they're still in school. So all these things are happening. Infrastructure, there is a multi-purpose uh, center that's going to be built at the high school. It has been in the infrastructure uh, listing for the last 3 directors. That's how long infrastructure takes place in here. So there are things that can work on, but it's moving very slow. Let's um, let's move into the feeding program. The feeding program is not accommodated under compact funding. So Tamil is doing a very good, Tamil Elementary School is doing a very good thing with their communities. Yap High School, the community is the whole island. If we can start it off with the whole island, we can always have a feeding program. Or maybe outside sources can come in to help in sustaining the feeding program. Um, I can go on and on and on. But thank you. It was a very good presentation. We can learn a lot from it. Thank you very much.
Chairman Mapal, you have any? Go ahead.
Chairman, mindful of the time for the bus. Two of the things that you guys raised, it's also our concern here, and we've talked with DOE on them, especially curriculum. Um, the one on textbooks, we're pushing them to go digital so that we don't have to have heavy textbooks being shipped out, and every 2, 3 years they're out of date to go digital, like you guys we were doing at COM. Um, and right now we have in the works something for a summer job program for high schoolers, but something that was done in the past called Beacon, bridging educational areas of concern or need for math and English would be something to revisit and bring back for 8 to transitioning to 9 for bridging those gaps. But that's for us here too. But that's just for you guys info. Maro.
Come with Chairman. Go ahead, Director Dominic.
I'm sorry, I forgot a very important one because you guys actually brought it up. The compulsory age law. The compulsory age law, now we have the 6 to 14 by the whole nation. Yap State don't have a law on that. There is a law in development now that the compulsory age law will be from 5 to 18 and it will be brought into this chamber for a review and endorsement. I just want to make sure that we're all in the same booking when we're talking about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Fnaso, and thanks to all the presenters. I just have a comment on the resources. The student talked about limited resources, inadequate school supplies. Uh, the director and I have been talking about school consolidation, which I did not hear or see from the presentation. But I think in regards to resource, we have to put our resource into the right um, areas, such as the elementary school in the community. We have a lot of elementary school building, same budget every year, but low enrollment rate and lack of teachers to man the classroom. But every year, the budget across the board is the same. Just a couple of years back, the education department managed to close one elementary school in South, and they were able to move teachers to be able to teach in other schools. So I think it is something that everybody, the elected leaders, political appointees, and students and teachers need to also focus their attention in terms of resource distribution and budget. With that, any more comments? It's way past 4:30, and I have to, on behalf of the committee and the staff and the core group, wanted to thank all of the schools who have participated in the presentation program of this YAP State Civic Education Initiative. And this is just the first phase of this program. We are now moving into the debate component. And I believe based on our schedule, the debate is scheduled to happen in March, and the election will be happening in April. So the core team will meet next week, and we will populate the result of the rubric, and we will share it with your respective school, and then we will announce the topics that needs to be worked on in regards to the debate, the upcoming debate. So with that, I have to thank once again everybody for their participation, and it does not end here today. This is just the first phase. So thank you all very much, and please continue to do your research, and we will meet again on the debate topics. Thank you. And that concludes our presentation for this afternoon. Kamukarga. Once again, we still have the refreshment out there. Please, on your way out, pack your bags, your school bag.